Hi everyone. Just wanted to introduce task card activities. They're really awesome. This explanation goes for all of them. So I'm using money word problem task card activities, but it could be this explanation is good for each and every task card activity that I do. Um, so let's have a look. I have two screens up here. Okay, so I have my screen here and screen here. They're from the same task card activity, so I'm just using them both just to show you how the whole thing works. So the left just shows you the first page. Okay, it gives you an overview of how you do this, instructions, how it can be used, etc. Just to quickly point out, the game is, I think, the much better way of doing this, but there are other ways. You can simply use the task cards as a practice worksheet, as a class activity, and so on. Okay, math workshops work quite well with this as well. So let's take a look at how this works. So second page, give a student answer sheet, just something they can print off. You can print off for them if they want, or they can copy down, what have you. Very easy for them to make as well. Teacher answer key. And then we got this, which is the word chart, which is located over here as well. And then we have all the questions all the way down. Okay. You'll notice on the right hand side it's got the word, it's got the answer, and it's got the question. Now these words are going to line up with these answers, and each answer is obviously going to correspond to a certain question. So once the student get all the answers, in this case there are 15 questions, once the students get all 15 answers, they make a nice sentence going all the way down. In this case, it's going to be a quote. Okay, pretty much in all my task card activities, it's a quote that they make. The quote for this particular one is, "It is much easier to go down a hill than up, but the view is much better at the top." So all the quotes are meant to be somewhat inspirational. So let's go down to question number 1. Let's see what the task cards actually look like. So question 1, Sylvian received a $50 Apple gift card, so on and so forth. So the student answers the question. So they had $50, they spent $27.50, and then they have $22.50 left. So what do we do with that? Well, we look on our chart. Now this chart I have printed all around the room. It doesn't matter if you're doing it in math or science. You print off 3 or 4 of these charts, you put them around the room for easier access for the students to find the answer. So what do? Well, they find the answer. So they find $22.50 on this chart. So we find $22.50 and it's right here. Okay, so they would write the answer to the first one as "it is." So I'll just bring up this document here and a little makeshift answer key, and we'd say question number 1, the answer is "it is." And then they do question number 2. So question number 2, Braden paid $18.24 for 4 ice cream cones. How much does each ice cream cone cost? So you divide that one by 4 and you get $4.56. So we look for $4.56 on here, right here. So the answer number 2 is much. Now it doesn't matter what question they start at. In fact, I get my kids to start in different questions. So by the end, this guy may have started on question 2, group 3 may have started on question 6, but either way, in the end they have 15 questions all the way down. Okay, so all the way down to 15. So what they get at the end is a list that looks very much like this. Okay, 1 to 15 all the way down, giving them the quote. They then bring the quote up to you. You mark, is it right, is it wrong? And if it's wrong, I just check off the ones that are wrong. If it's right, I check the ones that are right so that they know what they need to focus on. Okay, so it's a very easy game. Once you get going, once you've done it once with your kids, they have no problem with it and they love it. In fact, they're running around the room trying to answer the questions as best as they can. So that's it.